What's up guys, this is Shana and today we are going to check out Anggun Residences in Batu Kawan. Again, let's go! Hey guys, we are back here again in less than a month to document another development in Batu Kawan itself. So again, for those who are not familiar, Batu Kawan is this brand new master plan located next to the second bridge of Penang that connects to Bayan Lepas. So on the previous episodes, we have seen the few developments that has been completed, almost completing and etc. This is one of the new ones, and what we can see right now, the piling works are ongoing right now. Here is when you can see it's on the inner side of things, and that will be the affordable homes. And that will be Ciji building in the future, and they are actually constructing a new road, constructing a new bridge, and this will be a future corporate tower. And what's cool about this developer is that it's the same developer that builds the Design Village outlet. They have won awards for their landscape designs. They have created a buzz around the market because of its composition of the mall, and after that success, now they are going to build this new apartment right next to it. And that's also the intention, where you get to have that mixed integrated living lifestyle. That will be the mall. It's a very low-rise single-story mall, and it's a Monday today, and you can see the car parks is packed. On the glimpse, this will be Sinaran, that will be Virtue at the far end, Swasana just handed over Utama, VTech Convention Center. At the far end, you can see IKEA, then that will be EcoWorld's landed property, and it's really all coming together. You also have the UOW University right at the far end, walking distance literally. And all those are just super exciting as a new township. Slowly but surely we are seeing the progress. We are witnessing momentum building around this area. Now we are in Design Village outlet. The landscape treatments are awesome. You can see in between shop lots you have garden spaces, you have landscape treatments, birds. But generally a lot of people are coming back as the economy is starting to recover, and the sales gallery is around here. Bear in mind, we are here to also check out the hardscape because the developer are the same party. Most likely the design treatments are also going to be somewhat similar. So in the central part of the mall, there are certain areas that are shaded, certain areas that are landscape, certain areas that comes with water features as well. And those things add excitement to the entire pathway, the entire walking experience. And after checking with the team, the consultant team and the construction team that builds all this will be building for Anggun Residences as well. And for a better picture of where we are in the mall right now. So this is called a Design Village outlet, and that's UOW, and this will be the site. And this will be the entire Batu Kawan, when you have all the major companies setting up their factories here, and that somewhat guarantees the job opportunities and demand for spaces here. In total, there will be 496 units only for this project, and it's in a land where it's still leasehold. Just for info, there's this phase of movement that's going on around Batu Kawan where a lot of leasehold title land are converted into freehold. So this is where it's still under application of turning into freehold. We have neighboring projects that has converted successfully. This will be the site of the car park that we are on top just now, and this will be the multi-level car park. It's one residential block, then a multi-story car park, and you have that half dome access way for residents, right? Then you have this facility deck above the multi-tiered car park. That's the most cost-efficient manner, and the entrance will be via the front road. You can take a turn here, and that becomes the entrance into the project. And also be informed that this piece of land right up front, right, will be a corporate tower in the future, but that is going to take time as the location matured. So as we go forward, this will be the guardhouse, and then you have the car access only for this portion. All these land areas are for fire truck access. And for facility wise, there will be 3 areas. One would be the ground floor level next to the entrance. The other one will be above the multi-story car park, and the last one will be on the rooftop. And there's a few features that I really like. Number one would be this linear park adjacent to the building, which is right in front actually. So in terms of land area, it's a size of 31 acres that the developer is proposing to the master developer. So there will be this humongous linear park that is cutting across the entire building, and that's going to look so amazing if you're staying up there lah. I think to highlight would be this automated waste collection system. Apparently it's a requirement for all buildings within this area because the state government wants this location to be known as that future city, that eco city that's maintaining good practices of hygiene and things like that lah. So that's awesome. So coming up to the highest level of the multi-story car park, this will be the facility deck, and if you notice, right, it's only few elements: walkways, pools, and landscape. So you can see the very extensive swimming pool connected by floating steps, connecting by cascading pools, reflective pool, play area, and you have the walking decks, barbecue area at the far end. So this is when hardscape design becomes very, very important, because if you look into the building, right, without the organic forms or without the greeneries, right, it's a linear block. Multi-story car park, residence tower, Gaudi. It's going to be quite monotonous, but what this landscape architect did is to add language into the entire design. Not only from 2D, they are even playing around with 3D, where you have cascading elements, cascading steps, cascading hardscape for you to just walk around, and that will design your pathway experience throughout this entire facility area. But the very unfortunate truth to this is the only way to gauge is to check out their previous projects, but in Penang there aren't any besides this design village outlet. Then at the highest floor we can see almost similar treatment, but just that the land area is way smaller. First thing to highlight would be this tempered glass closing the void space. What we don't want is water falling through all the void, as they are encouraging people to put out their clothes at the yard space instead of the balcony, because there aren't any balconies. So when you come in via the Sky Lounge area, there will be a theatre screen on this side, and there will be planter seating, reflexology pathway, starry tunnel, planter seating, sky bar, your usual things. But this sky dining experience is going to be pretty exciting, especially during the night, because we have seen neighboring projects and the view when you are up there in the sky, right, it's amazing. You have that mountain connecting to the sea across this plain area. Oof. How long more, we are not sure, but temporarily it's going to look so awesome. And something about the lack of balconies. For normal units up front, there aren't any, and balconies are exclusively only for the corner units. I've also asked why, but the logic is this: they don't want people to be putting out their clothes at the balcony. By taking out the balcony space, the building in overall from a distance will look way neater, because this location, after all, is the CBD for the entire Batu Kawan. Let's not forget that. That's why you can see the focus and that concentration of buildings all around. In the future, the next door building is going to be a corporate tower, and the last thing you want them to see is people putting out their clothes outside. Okay, so when you come in via the entrance, there will be this drop-off area, and there will be the waste collection center at the side. So if you notice, right, a lot of all these elements that can be located at the facility area, they actually locate it down here, and I like that intention, because what you can see here, the multi-purpose hall, the meeting room, the gym, these are things where you invite your friends to come over and somewhat do it together. But in this current change of lifestyle, we don't really want people to access into the building. So I'm not sure whether that's the intention, but I see that they try to minimize facilities at the facility deck, so people will only access the ground floor and the rooftop lah. And something I also like would be that half circle pathways across the multi-story car park, as that's more convenient, because you can just turn and turn and turn pretty quickly instead of turn, drive, go down, drive. So for the floor layout design, right, because they have a multi-story car park, therefore it's pretty common that they will join, and you will see typologies like this where half the floor plan of the residential towers are shared with the multi-story car park. So you will have cars parked here, and you get to access and get to your unit lah. Right, that is actually quite convenient, but wouldn't it be cool if there's a connection here? And for the units at the facility deck, right, there will be several units of garden units, right, where this is the pool and all. So this will be fetching certain premiums where you have this garden space. It feels like a landed properties. It will be very happy for my kid, so they can just immediately jump out into the pool, then jump back. But for the normal standard layout, it's going to be 16 units altogether, sharing 5 units of lift. And the design will be 8 units at one side, which is nice. There aren't any fire doors. So it's going to be a very open space around this location, along with all the voids in the center. Okay, so there will be open ends on both sides. And right at the rooftop, we have the tempered glass roof to actually shade, so there won't be any rain dropping into all these voids. The unit that we're going to check out today will be type A to C, 1,400 square feet. Rather huge, and it's a dual key layout. And every floor there's only one unit type like this. And something weird about what's going on here in this Batu Kawan area, right? Their dual key gets direct access to the corridor, unlike the one we have in KL. And when you come into the unit, you will have this amazing central space where you have the kitchen, the dry kitchen all combined together with the dining, then the living, and there's no balcony here. So it's easier to just cut out and become a balcony, right? But without the balcony, it just extends the spatial qualities along with this aircon latch. We will explain that later. So then you have 3 bedrooms on this side. Bedroom 1, 2, and the principal bedroom, and an identical common bathroom this side. This side you will have the studio unit where they have the balcony. So this is the more lifestyle oriented unit where you have your ensuite as well. But one thing stands out though. Everything is built right up to the boundary lines. So coming into the unit, there's no foyer. So immediately you will be accessing this humongous space, right? Where you have the dining, kitchen and living. So as we have visited several layouts where the living and dining gets to be laid in a horizontal manner, this is when your kitchen and your dining gets to lay horizontally. It's crazy and it's a wonderful thing if you like cooking. This is where you can put your fridge, your linear kitchen all the way here, and you can still accommodate this 6-seater dining table along with the island storage area, and the basin will be in this location, right? So something to highlight, this is actually the aircon latch. This is where you put your aircon compressors and things like that, and there will be another one for the roof of the units above. So they are actually proposing things like this for you to hang out your clothes within the void. This is the maximization of space. So for a layout that we are more familiar with, this would easily be a yard space where it's actually partitioned up. But then that difference, the wet kitchen and the dry kitchen. But this is entirely all the way to the boundary. They even provide windows like this, because in the future, if this is really used for wet cooking, you have your smoke extraction system, and they can easily puncture through this window instead of putting in a wall. It means it's just easier to modify this piece here. Instead of a solid wall, then you need to puncture through it. Then looking at the kitchen layout like this, it's very easy that you can just add up a partition to just isolate out the space. And something to highlight is they won't have any beams in the unit. This is where I assume that the entire floor plate is going to be flat slab system. It's one very thin concrete slab built using post-tension technology, and the absence of beam really opens up the space. So for ceiling height, it's going to be 3 meters, and the width of this living room is insane. It's 12 feet, and when we measure, it's around 3.7-ish meters long. And this is big also because there's this lack of balcony. You can see they puncture through the space out into the space that was supposedly to be the balcony space. So 2 things happen. Because of the lack of balcony, you don't need to allocate another 2 feet just for circulation space. So suddenly the space are all usable. Second thing, that extra 2 feet in terms of balcony are converted into internal spaces, and matching that with this angled window profiles, right? That just maximizes the daylight, maximizes the view, and it's insane. They built the window up to the edge. So instead of that top to bottom maximization, this developer maximized the window size from edge to edge, right? Even eat up at the corner side. But something to also highlight would be the lack of mullion. By adding a mullion here, the cost of the window would easily be lesser. With the intention to maximize view, they kept it this way, and I really appreciate it. So for a unit like this, it's going to be around 600,000. Also be mindful that this is a show unit, right? So all these decoration items are not included. But I like the flooring. So if you can see, it's those type of matte tiles where it's not reflective, it's gentle to the eyes, right? It's not as cold during the air cons, and this will be the first bedroom. It feels huge because from wall to wall, it's around 3 meters, height is around 3 meters, and the windows are built from edge to edge. That's incredible. And that allows you to put in a queen size bed, wardrobe, bedside table, and still have a lot of space for circulation. And all bedrooms comes with these timber-like tiles, and you have the skirtings here. And for door frames wise, they're going to provide mild steel door frames. Next room will be exactly identical, and I like this because they smartly integrate and leverage on the height of the window. So this window edge to edge thing, right, again, it's very new, but it makes a lot of sense. Moving on, this will be the common bathroom, and they'll be providing full height wall tiles, window panel, and for WC there will be Verve. Basin as well will be by Verve. Your instant water heater, rain shower, everything. Nice. One little detail here to highlight would be this flush of window. On a usual basis, they will be built on a curb, then only the window. But then this layer, this horizontal layer, will always accumulate dust. So in order to solve that, they have decided to just flush this so there won't be any surface to accumulate dust. Thoughtful. Moving on to the principal. Oh my. One observation is every bedroom can clearly accommodate a queen size bed along with circulation space. From wall to wall, this is around 3.1 meters along with that 3 meter ceiling height. Again, it feels huge. After they accommodate this wardrobe space, this circulation space, queen size bed, bedside table, they can still have this day bed around the window connecting to this circulation space, which is insane. Again, that edge to edge window treatment. Whew. So just imagine what they are trying to do there is the evening sun. It's going to look so romantic. And moving on, this will be the principal bathroom, and it's identical to the one outside. Similar treatments, similar features in comparison to whatever space they are providing outside, right? This feels rather weird because it's rare that we have a principal bathroom that is similar to the common bathroom outside. As a paymaster, I thought one more kind of thing. It's also another school of thought where as long as it's workable, then jadi lah. Right across from the principal bedroom, you go across, this will be the studio unit. And it is somewhat designed to look exactly like a hotel suite because it's a bit more lifestyle oriented. Something very cool, they are providing this steel door for every unit. As we are more familiar with smart lock system or whatsoever, right, they decided to go old school with it. That's cool. This is so solid. Then you have that timber-like tiles next to your bathroom. Okay, you have full height wall tiles and you have a windows there. Toilet up front, right, there will be a drop, so those will be space for utilities. And coming in, you will have your pantry, or you call it your dry kitchen, and next to that will be your dining space. Then this width from wall to wall will be 3.4 meters, where you can see the bed here suddenly feels so small. And you can comfortably have a circulation space next to your wardrobe. Bedside tables, they also have this angled window, very nice, and that connects you to the balcony. As there will be a possibility of having a corporate tower next to the side, they will be providing tintings for all the facade windows. That's good. And for your handrail, they are providing steel and glass handrail built on a curb, and that will be your aircon latch. We are right outside of the site. Next to the site, this will be the linear park location. So it's going to be right adjacent to the site. That's cool. Let me also point out there will be an integration of services for Aeroline, the shuttle bus from KL, right, all the way here. There will be a stop here. So in case you're traveling frequently, they will be very good. And this indirectly, not too sure on the possibility, but it's for the future PRT. So in the future, the access will be directly here, turning into the site. Then this will be the corporate tower, and the site will be right inside. And to think that this is adjacent to the shopping mall, very close to UOW, very close to Peninsula College, very close to commercial areas, residential areas, IKEA, and etc. That convenience segment of things are just all sorted out. So the only concern right now, what would be developed here? And a stone throw away, we can reach IKEA. Just some updates on the location itself. There's also a McDonald structure being constructed. So it's most likely going to be ready by the end of the year. 2 petrol stations are coming up really soon. One is Caltex, one is Petronas. And when these things slowly come in, you can see a lot more stores are opening around Vervea area already. So that's good. And then sooner or later, this might be a weekend thing when people from the island can come over, do some shopping, grab some dinner, and hang out around the park for the evening before they go back. And now we are in Eco Borealis commercial area, and it's exciting to say this. Starbucks is officially open. And I think that will bring in a lot more crowds, a lot more tenants to run their shops around this area. And I think that's all for the visit, right? A rather direct one, as we have visited this location so many times. Therefore, it's now time for Shuan Take 3 on 3. 3 things I really like. Number 1 would be the layout design. This is very new. Although we've seen so many different layouts already, it still caught us by surprise. You really feel that the developer is building and maximizing every single inch of space for the layout itself. They are building everything up to the boundary where they disregard the partition for the yard space or wet kitchen. They just build all the way to the ledge. And for the balcony, they disregard the balcony and they just build it and take it as an internal space. So if you want something more lifestyle, you can actually get it from the studio unit side where it's a little bit more lifestyle oriented. The rest is all spec wise, not only from 2D area, even from space wise. They think a lot about the beam as well. So even that 3D sense of things, they are thoughtful about that design. But my personal favorite about the unit layout would be the window design. They could have easily just add mullions to reduce the size of the window, and that will drastically reduce the cost, but they didn't. Instead, they maximize everything. And the second thing I really like would be the thoughtfulness of the developer. First thing would be the initiative of building that linear park. Of course, it will benefit the residents here. Of course, it will benefit their project, but no one is going to just invest capital just to beautify a garden and hand over to the master planner or government. Number 2 would be the designation of levels for facilities. So you can see that those that are more covered, those that requires a little bit more access to outsiders are laid on the ground floor. I'm not sure whether it's this their intent, but I think so. It looks like it, because on top of the multi-story car park is only landscape, walkway, hardscapes and water bodies, and it looks amazing. So they clearly demarcate out private and semi-private for the common facilities. I like it. And when we go into the details, right, the usage of aircon ledge, I think is amazing. You get to install that fixture to hang out your clothes. I think it's good. So it won't waste space. Sometimes when we look at plans, when we look into 2D, actually there's still volume around where you can maximize. They did that. The curb for your toilet window that accumulate dust, they just flush it. And the allocation for space, just in case you want to demarcate out or to partition out more rooms for investment, or you want to partition out the kitchen for better ventilation or whatsoever, all can be done. That's very nice. And the third thing I like, I feel that this developer is here to make a statement to take the market by surprise, because as we have visited different properties around the area, this is so foreign. Even for us that we have viewed so many properties together, there are a lot of things that are very foreign. Apparently they are the developer that comes from the east side, from Sarawak itself, and with their construction background, they have built the Design Village outlet. Their approach to landscape has also achieved awards, so we can somewhat guesstimate similar approach to be used in the project itself as well as the linear park. And you can really feel that via the show unit itself. Like every single detail, storytelling, everything are all thought through from a very practical standpoint. Unfortunately, that's also the first point that I have concern of. There might be a concern of people not being familiar with this particular developer that comes from Sarawak. And sometimes when you think about it, this developer built this small piece of land only, can build and all later run away, how? And this is so last era in terms of thinking. And when we search through the history, before this entire master plan, right, the first developer that to participate in Batu Kawan development will be this particular developer, and Design Village outlet was constructed way before IKEA itself. Again, that shows the entire belief towards this location, and they are here really to make a statement. The second thing I have concern of will be the internal layout as well. As fabulous as it can be, sometimes when we think about practicality, it depends on personal use, right? Like if you are a person who really needs that wet kitchen, you can partition yourself, but it's not provided. Because judging based on visual impact, this got it. Or when you think about why aren't any developers doing it, there must be a reason. Then other things such as the lack of that foyer space. It's kind of weird here because for dual key units, both units get to access the corridor at the same time. It means that there's two doors, which I don't understand the rationale. Anyway, I personally prefer to have a foyer, somewhat that sense of entry into a space. And I also wish that there would be a difference between the principal bathroom with the common bathroom, because now they are exactly identical. And as a paymaster for the house, I wish for something more. And last of all would be the entire development of Batu Kawan, which is definitely going to take time. Although we can see the CBD is somewhat forming already, we can see the previous projects that's all taking place. The momentum is definitely building. Somewhat when we talk about momentum and years of completion, easily it's going to be another 5 to 10 years easily. But what's good is things are taking place. Like the bridge are in construction, roads are in construction, pilings are taking place at site. People are coming into Design Village outlet on a Monday. Why do you need to work on? I also don't know. But overall, that's a flavor of this brand new satellite city in Penang, right? In comparison to whatever you have in Penang, definitely you have more value for money here, because for a 600,000 you get 1,400 yet to convert freehold title. I think that's the key point here. And with that, it really depends on your mode of investment. If you are somebody who likes certainty, you can always go back to the conventional island and invest in things that you're super familiar with, right? But if you're a person that's willing to explore a little bit more risk in searching for the best value for money, this is very, very interesting because of the land status, because of the project status, and the entire township status is all developing, all work in progress. Right? And I think that's all for this episode. Shout out to the team for having me isolating everything else but me in the sales gallery. That's cool. And if you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.